So this is how the impeller is in right now. The fingers are kind of bent over this way. So I'm just gonna give you an idea how it's in, so that I make sure I put the new one in the correct way. Okay, there's a seal in here, and it looks like the only way to get that out is to take this plate off of the top of the water pump housing, which looks like it's held on by a screw here and a screw here. So let's see if I can get those screws out. Alright, took these two screws out, and that comes right up. And there's a oil seal or a lip seal right there. You can see it right there. Alright. And then looks like there's okay, this must be the grommet right here. See, yeah, okay. Yeah, this must be the grommet that I was looking for right here. Yep, just pop that out with a screwdriver a little bit, and that comes right out. So that's that grommet. And I'm sure I can pop that seal out. Okay, I was able to, I just scraped all the crud out of there after I pulled the seal out. The inside of the seal came out, but the little metal cup didn't. Holding it with a rag so I could get that out of there and get a good grip on it, because the first time I slipped and I stuck the screwdriver right into my finger. So, a little bit of blood. But this came out anyway, so this is the seal. This little metal sucker was really stuck in there. I put some PB Blaster on this and let it soak for a while. I'm going to see if I can grab that with some vice grips and get the broken bolt. Well, I'm going to have to put some heat on that, I think. But before I do, I'm going to take this bearing assembly cap thing off and get those seals out. Took these 4 bolts out, and I can't get this cap to come off. Kind of get it to wiggle a little bit, but not coming. Not coming up. Okay, I was able to actually just work this and turn it, and as soon as I did that, I was able to break this whole thing free and get it to release. So actually, it's almost like the pinion gear's coming up with it.
Does it seem that the party has ulterior motives for trying to pin down Law's wife?
Well, it's the first time that a senior party leader's spouse has been accused of murder, and where it's been brought to court.
Pull this puppy off.
In the days of Mao Zedong, party leaders and their families were purged and prosecuted and persecuted.
There we go. That's what I wanted to see. So we've got an O-ring and a groove right there that seals this bearing assembly down into there. And then there is a seal inside there. And then there's another seal here. So what there is there's 2 seals, identical part number, one on top of the other in this assembly. Alright, so I got the O-ring out. I'm going to replace that and clean the groove up a little bit. And inspect the bearing. The bearing actually looks like it's in good shape. And so now I've got to get these 2 seals out. Now that inner one, I'm not sure if I can get that out without pulling the bearing out. Hopefully I can. We'll start with this top one, because this one's definitely pushed in from this top side. It'll be the easier of the 2 to get out. Having trouble getting that screwdriver to get underneath that lip of that top seal, and I can actually see it almost looks like they're stacked one right on top of the other. I mean, it literally looks like they pushed in one seal. It's almost like they took 2 seals and put them in facing each other, or back to back. Yeah, 2 seals back to back to almost make kind of a double lip kind of configuration here. So I'm wondering if I can push that out from, if I can push it out from this side. Yeah, that's the ticket there. Using this chisel from the inside and banging, and actually being able to push the lip. Yeah, it's actually coming out. They're coming out together, but it's going to be 2 separate seals. Okay, I started to see a tiny bit of a gap open up between the 2 seals, so I tapped in this skinny screwdriver as a wedge, made the gap larger, was able to tap in this bigger one, and then pry on it and pop that sucker right out. So that seal came right out. So that you can see the wide metal part of that seal faces down, and you can see it was sitting right on top of another seal that has the metal cup facing up. So 2 seals back to back, and I believe they're the same part number. Alright, now continuing to tap away at the back with my dull chisel, I was able to push this one out. I should be able to pop it out now with a screwdriver. Okay, last job I'm going to do tonight. Put a little bit of heat and see if I can't get that broken bolt out. Well, I tried heating it and shocking it with mechanical shock, giving it good bangs and everything, and it still doesn't want to come out, so I just give it another dose of PB Blaster and I'm going to let it soak. No hurry, because don't need to get that out till I go to put this back together, and I've got to order the parts tonight. Well, my parts came in to rebuild the water pump on this thing, but unfortunately this screw's still giving me fits, and I actually snapped off part of it now, so not enough left to grab onto even with vice grips, so I'm going to try and drill it out. So the first step is to center punch it so that the drill bit doesn't wander. Okay, started with a small drill bit and progressively got larger in size, and now I'm almost there. I want to drill this to the largest diameter I can before I get to a point where it's going to actually damage the threads. That's why it's so important for this hole to be dead center, because if it's offset, then you're going to impinge into those threads before you get to that maximum diameter that you'd like to get to. So now I'm almost where I want to be. I don't want to get any larger than that because I may not be 100% on center, although I'm pretty close. This will do a couple things for me. It'll be large enough of a hole for me to get a small screw extractor in, but also the drilling process generates heat right at the very center of the screw outward, which will help hopefully break those frozen threads free. And again, like I said, the other thing it does is it weakens the wall of the screw so that it has a better chance of breaking away from the threads if I end up having to heat it again. These are the screw extractors that I have. One of these ought to do the job. See, this one snapped off. That's always a bad thing. These are hardened steel. When you snap it off in a hole, then you get a problem, because then you're going to try and drill it out. So you definitely want to try and avoid that. Let's try this one. Well, screw extractor, I didn't want to snap it, so I didn't force the issue. I'm going to put some PB Blaster in there again now. The difference between now and previous times is now the PB Blaster can also go down through the hole and actually get to the threads on the underside. PB Blaster is not working on its own. Just tried the screw extractor again. Again, don't want to force it to a point where I might snap the screw extractor off inside there, so I'm going to try and apply heat again. I'm going to take this seal out. I hadn't previously taken this seal out, but now that the new one's in, I can take it out, and this has to be one less thing I have to smell burning when I heat this up. Alright, I just put the torch on that for a bit. Got it pretty hot. Well, shocking how stubborn that's being. I think I'm going to go one drill size larger. Hopefully I won't damage the threads. Well, none of that worked. So I got to the point where now the hole is so large that I'm just about impinging on the threads, if not already doing so. I'm close to it. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to find the correct size tap and try and run a tap down this hole and see if I can't salvage it. Well, now I did it. I was doing pretty good with the tap, but I didn't go quite far enough down. And when I tried running a bolt in to test it, the bolt ended up getting stuck and snapped off, so I got another bolt snapped off in it. Tried drilling the center of that bolt to get it out, and snapped off the screw extractor in there. So now I've just got a complete mess. To make matters worse, on my second attempt here, I was completely off center with my pilot hole. So not only do I have the screw extractor stuck in there, but it's in a hole that's no longer centered. So I'm not going to be able to do much with this now. So I'm about ready to quit for tonight because I don't think I can screw this up anymore tonight.